Hello and welcome to ACAD System Free Online course. For this session of Navisworks Manage, we're going to take a look on the clash detective. So whether if you want to run some tests to see if there are some clashes inside. So with that, you can go to the Home tab and go to the Tools ribbon here, and you can click on the Clash Detective toolbar from here. And over here, you will turn on the Clash Detective tools, and we can start to add some tests. So previously, I already have some tests over here. So you can add multiple type of tests. Maybe you have different type of clash that you want to see. You can make them as a separate test. So with this, I'm going to create a new test. So I can create add test from here. If you want to, you can also rename the test. But for this case, I'm just going to leave it as is. And next, from down here, you can specify the area for the clash that you want to check. So currently here I have selections. You can specify standard, set, or different type of settings from here. So I'm gonna leave it both as standards. And the first thing is I have the first models, and the section B is also the same thing. And if I want to have different tests, I can just drop down from here, and I can make a test comparison between two different objects like this, for examples. Or maybe I want test between different one or the same model from here, so I can just specify from. For this case, I'm just going to leave it as the first one and the second one. And once I'm done, I can drop and specify some more settings. So the first will be the surface. So if I want to check the surface clash, I can select the first. If you want to have lines and point also included inside, you can just turn this one on. But I'm just going to leave it as off. For the settings here, you can specify the type of clash, whether you want this to be hard for direct clash, or you want to see the clearance or duplicate, so you can just specify from here. So I'm going to leave it as hard. And if you want to, you can specify the minimum tolerance that it will be ignored. And once the setting has been done, you can start to run the test. And once the test has been done, so it open up for the new tabs, which is on the result. So if you want to create new or you want to adjust the setting, you can go back to the select. But from here, I'm going to look at the downward from here. So let me just turn this one off temporarily. And currently I have 3 different clash. So I can click at the first one, the second one, and the third one, and I'm able to see which clash this item has been shown. So for this case, I'm going to focus on the third clash. So we have the clash between these two objects. So over here, we have the result here that you can show or find different type of tools to read the result much more clear. So the first thing is the status, which is newly found. It will become red color like this. Maybe I have made some adjustment and I want to rerun back the test, right? So I want to see whether the clash has been exist. Was already adjust from the model itself. So I can rerun back the clash. And once done, so you can see here is that the clash is still available. So it will show orange color instead, which indicate this test has been formed before and currently is still here. So that will be on active. So if you want to, you can also change to different status. Maybe the first one is I'm going to set back to new. Maybe clash number 2, I want this to be on review or already approved. So I can just select that from there. If I want to, I can also make this one as a resolve, probably because this one already been fixed on the models, but not inside of the Navisworks. So I can just leave it as resolve, for example. And when is the clash has been found, you can find at the found button over here. So it will tells you the date of the test has been done. And I have these a few options that I can add from here. So maybe if I would like to specify some person to take a note on the first clash here, so I can specify or assign to the person from here. So to assign that, you can right click and assign, and you can take a note from here. Let's say I want to assign to Adam, so I can type in the name Adam. So Adam need to go over here and check on these comments, and let's say this comment here I want to specify to change coordinate, for example. And once I'm done, I can click OK. So it will indicate that there are some comments inside here. And if you take a look further, so we have approve button over here. So if you change to approve, for example, it will show you who approved this clash here. And if I go further, so let me just hide this one. So I have a description of this task, and I have who is this first assigned to. Right? And it also show me the distance for the clash it's actually happened, so I can just check from here. So if I want to see it clearly, so I have this display settings from here, which indicate the settings that we can do. So maybe I just want to see the item that clash, so I can turn off one of those. And if I want to show the item that it has been clashed into, so I can turn on for the second one instead. So for this case, I'm just gonna leave it for both. And sometimes you can see the object that you have that is being obstruct the view, so you can turn on off from here. So for example, obviously I don't know where the clash is on, so I can dim others so that I can see the clash very easily. And you can also hide others. So for example, the first one here, I'm not sure where the clash actually happens, so I can hide others as well, so that I'm able to see it much more clear from here. And if I want to, I can also focus on the clash, and it will try to zoom in on that area. Now that the clash result has been found, and I would like to see what item is this and what actually item for this part here. So with that, you can drop down and you can see specifically for this part here, this will be the item that has been clashed for gliders. And the second one, this will be the item that has been clashed. So that you can see it clearly from here. So now that result has been found, so we can proceed forward to generate a report. So you can generate a report from here. So by the way, you have this at the top here, the test that we have done. It will show how many clash that you already have, how many is the new or active. So you can easily trace it from at the top from here. But now we go back to the report. So over here is basically allow you to select what type of data that you want to extract. So in this case, I'm just going to leave it everything. And I can just drop down from here, and I can specify what type of format that I want. So for this case, maybe I want to open on the HTML. So I can just leave it as HTML files, and I can write a report for this clash here. And I'm going to create a new class report. And I can click save. And when I'm opening back the report, so I will get something like this. So this is the report generated based on the clash. So that's conclude our lesson for clash detective for Navisworks Manage.